After 20 years, the United States of America has exited the Bagram airbase in Afghanistan and handed it back to the fledgling Afghan Air Force. By the end of it, they couldn't win the unwinnable war, but they sure win hands down as far as overseas military bases are concerned. They have the most in the world, 38 of them. India has many as well, spread over 9 countries. We have the strategic Farkhor airbase in Tajikistan, which becomes very important as American boots on the ground withdraw from Afghanistan. This base is located very close to the northern border with Afghanistan, and there is talk of the United States of America possibly asking for its services as a drone base in the region. Now, Farkhor was India's first overseas military base and is operated jointly by the Indian and the Tajik Air Force. But why do we need an airbase in Farkhor? Well, it's 20 kilometers away from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, so makes sense, doesn't it? Then there are military bases India has in the Indian Ocean region to counter China's string of pearls. We have a military base in North Agalega, which is an island in Mauritius. We have 3 naval bases and 1 air base in Oman. In 2018, India brought the emptiest airport in the world to checkmate China. The Sri Lankan airport in Hambantota, which is very close to the Hambantota port that the Chinese have taken over. The Chinese want to use it as an Indian Ocean hub for their navy, though Sri Lanka is insisting that is not part of the deal. In Singapore, the Changi Naval Base also serves as an Indian naval base. Important because 70% of Chinese trade passes through this area via the Strait of Malacca. Good to have your naval presence here, just in case you want to hit China where it really hurts, which is trade. Another important asset for India is the Chabahar port in Iran, which is located in the Gulf of Oman. It's barely 100 kilometers away from the Gwadar port that China has helped Pakistan build. Important if China tries to flex its naval muscles in the Arabian Sea. Also, thanks to this port, that is the Chabahar port, India can bypass Pakistan in transporting goods to Afghanistan. India operationalized its first listening post on foreign soil in Madagascar way back in 2007. With radars and surveillance equipment, it keeps an eye and ear out to protect our sea lanes of commerce from pirates and bullies. China, that is. We have a similar setup in Oman as well. Apart from these strategic overseas bases and listening posts, there are overseas training bases as well. The Indian military training team is stationed at the Hazong in western Bhutan and is responsible for the training of the Royal Bhutan Army and the Royal Bodyguard of Bhutan. Now, interestingly, Bhutan does not have a defense minister. So the commandant of IMTRACT, a 2-star officer of the Indian Army, acts as an informal advisor to the King of Bhutan. So, nations invest in overseas military bases for 3 primary reasons: to project national power, for surveillance to protect its interests, and for training foreign armies. China is picking up bases all over the world for much of the same reasons. Djibouti, which is a strategic port at the mouth of the Red Sea with easy access to the Arabian Sea, is their first ever overseas naval base. It is 7 miles away from the US military's only permanent base in Africa and less than 5 miles away from the main port where US and European warships are frequent visitors. Officially, of course, it is to be used for anti-piracy missions, but with the infrastructure build-up that they have invested in, that's the Chinese have invested in, it is clear that there is a lot more to it. The pier that they have constructed, for example, is big enough to fit in their aircraft carrier and nuclear submarines. Apart from a strategic advantage in the Indian Ocean region, it also gives the Chinese a toehold in the mineral-rich continent of Africa. Africa, just by the way, has become the epicenter of overseas bases with 13 countries operating out of here. Interestingly, China also has a base in Tajikistan, a military post in the southeastern Gorno-Badakhans. They have massively upped investment in this region with an eye on the US exit from Afghanistan, which they too, just by the way, are watching with quite a degree of nervousness. Will GBAR be China's doorway to Afghanistan? We'll know the answer soon. China also has a base in Argentina, supposedly for space exploration. It is run by the PLA, and the USA believes that it has nothing to do with space and everything to do with satellite tracking.